Hello, and thank you for watching Art Minutes. I'm Patricia Tomlinson, curator at the Appleton Museum of Art. Today I would like to show you a very small but very powerful piece. This is an amulet from ancient Egypt featuring the lioness goddess Sakhmet. When we look at this object, we see a human figure with the left foot striding forward, and as we scan up the body, this human-like figure seems to have an animal head. The figure's right arm is straight down by its side, and the left hand holds some type of implement, which I will talk about in a moment. When we zoom in on this piece, we can see that the head of the animal is actually that of a lion. Now, this is really interesting because Sakhmet is a female goddess and is associated with the lioness. However, she has the full mane of a male lion, which is a discrepancy that has always been present in depictions of this goddess. When we look a little further down, we can see the head of what this goddess is holding. And what this is a representation of a papyrus in bloom. The papyrus staff was a very common implement for gods and goddesses to be pictured holding, and Sakhmet was one of them that is closely associated to that. To further extrapolate, papyrus grew in the very fertile, rich Nile Delta and is associated with the color green, with life, and with renewal. So it only makes sense that this goddess would be holding this as a renewal, life-giving form. This piece is made of faience, which was a special technique that the ancient Egyptians perfected and used in a lot of amulets and small protection symbols that they would often wear as protective pieces of jewelry or even have buried with them in their tombs. Faience for ancient Egyptian purposes was usually made from sand or crushed quartz that would be used to form a type of paste and was often then put into molds and various things and fired in order to create this. By the time of the firing, it is actually more closely associated with glass than with ceramics, and it often is a beautiful turquoise blue or sometimes a slightly green color, which of course also goes back to renewal and rebirth, as those are the symbols of water, sprouting plants, and other things that talk about new life. I also would like to talk about why this particular goddess was chosen as a protection symbol in the first place. Sakhmet in her original formation was a very fearsome goddess. One of the common names for her, translated from hieroglyphs, is Mistress of Fear. So she was also often a protectress of the king. As we all know, lionesses do most of the hunting within lion communities. So they're very fierce, very quick, very fast, and is an appropriate goddess to seek protection from. Interestingly, over time, the ancient Egyptians morphed this goddess into her more benign association of the cat goddess Bast or Bastet. So she is often seen as the yin to Bastet's yang, if you will, the more fierce to the more domestic and benign goddess. I also want to mention that this is an everyday object. Anyone could have access to these small amulets, wear them as necklaces or other types of jewelry, and have them as protection from day to day. This is not an elite item. This is an everyday item that was commonly worn by regular people in order to protect them and keep them safe. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to sharing more Art Minutes with you soon. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.